Hi everybody, I'm here at Sopwell House in St Albans and we're filming actually for a show that will be on Sky TV in the autumn, Property Elevator. But I just wanted to take a little bit of time out to tell you about why I'm so excited about all these planning reforms in Boris's build revolution. But I really believe that this is going to be something where you have got to take first mover advantage, because I don't think all of these reforms and the benefit of this sort of build what you like freefall is going to last forever. And I believe there's a few years of opportunity for the first movers to take advantage, and I'll explain why in this video. Stay tuned till the end and I'll share with you how you can get involved in some special free training I've organized to help you take that first mover advantage. So my name is Ranjan Bhattacharya. I've been investing and developing properties for the last 30 years, doing commercial property since 2001. I did my first commercial to residential conversion in 2005, before all this became permitted development. And when the permitted development rights came in 2013, I certainly had a lot of fun converting commercial buildings into residential use. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon. We put out new videos every week, and they're all dedicated to helping you keep on top of your property investment game. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Tell me whether you like, dislike, agree, disagree, and tell me about your property journey in the comments below. Now, 2020 is seeing unprecedented reform of the planning permission system, which quite frankly is archaic, bureaucratic, full of red tape, and a pile of poo, completely unfit for purpose. Why do I say that? 30 years ago, 40% of all new dwellings introduced to the market were introduced by small-scale developers. Do you know that's now dropped to just 12%? 12% of new housing provision is provided by small-scale developers. Why? Because planning permission is bureaucratic, it's a pain in the ass to get, it takes forever, it's uncertain, and small companies, small-time developers cannot finance a project through that sort of uncertainty. And of course, big developers are all well and good, but they're interested in doing big projects. They're not interested in doing little projects. So as a result, who is going to repurpose all these extra offices and shops on high streets and secondary parades, which are now in complete oversupply? These planning reforms and simplification of permitted development will allow small-scale developers to capitalize on these sites, which are of no interest to large-scale developers whatsoever. And this is going to have a massive boost to the economy in terms of bringing back the small-scale investor and developer, who's going to be helping revive our economy as we come into Brexit and post-COVID-19. Now, I'm going to be making plenty of videos, and I'm going to be sharing with you in some special training I've got lined up how you can actually take advantage of these specific measures that are going to be unfolded over the next coming months, and why it's so important to take that first mover advantage. But let me share with you some of my predictions going forward. These planning permission reforms are going to be massive. They are going to be build on steroids. We are rolling back the planning system to the 1940s. Local authority planning departments will absolutely hate this. And there will be some pushback. And that's why I believe you've got 3 to 4 years of opportunity to really make hay while the sun shines. Don't assume that these planning reforms are going to be with us forever. Use them while you can. Learn them now. Be first out of the block to implement and use these rights that you have and make hay when the sun shines. Let me give you a simple example. We had permission before to convert light industrial buildings into residential properties. Now, that PD was withdrawn. That was withdrawn within a few years. Those who made hay while the sun shined benefited. Those who wanted to kind of assume that that right would always be there suffered. In 2013, we had the right to do office to residential conversions. Some councils pushed back against this. And what they sought to do was impose an Article 4 direction. An Article 4 direction is basically a way a local authority can plead to the central government to say, look, please, we don't want this particular permitted development right being allowed to be used in this area in our local authority. That's basically what it is. But it isn't as simple as that. When central government give PD rights, permitted development rights, they're doing this across the nation and they're trying to enable everyone to play on the same level playing field. But you see, local authorities have to put up a special case to the Secretary of State to say, look, we need an exemption. We are special in our area. It's okay to have permitted development rights everywhere else, but we want this bit excluded. So take the office to resi conversion gold rush that was announced in 2013. Increasingly, councils have said, look, we don't want it here. So they have to prepare a case to say why their area should be exempted from these PD rights. Then they have to put that forward to the Secretary of State. Then that has to go through a process of evaluation. And all of this takes a good couple of years. And if the Secretary of State grants an Article 4 exemption, they grant it, but the council have to give the locals 12 months notice before that Article 4 exemption comes into effect. So what am I saying? I'm saying that there is going to be a PD, a permitted development goldmine of opportunity that's going to unleash in 2020. It's going to be the biggest thing for the small-time developer, particularly looking at repurposing buildings and making more use out of properties in established locations where people want to live. Local authorities are going to push back on this because they hate this. They're all a bunch of lefties, as we know, and they hate this. But it's going to take a few years for them to put their case together. This is exactly what happened in 2013, and this is exactly what's going to play out now. So what's important for you? What's important for you is to be on top of these new permitted development changes now. Figure out what you can do, because it is going to take time before the market fully understands what you can do under permitted development in terms of building works to buildings without the need for planning permission. When central government drafts this legislation, it's open to interpretation. And it takes a few years before that interpretation is kind of understood in the marketplace. And the other thing that always happens is the grey areas, the slightly ambiguous areas, because it's impossible to write any legislation that is specifically applies to every type of property in the UK, in every type of area. So there is going to be ambiguity, and where there's ambiguity, there's opportunity. And the other thing is, we have multiple PD rights, multiple permitted development rights being announced. And there's so much opportunity in combining these permitted development rights together to do something quite big and unique on a single site. So then it's about learning exactly what you can and can't do under permitted development, pushing the rules to the limit, but staying within them, of course, and taking that first mover advantage before rules are changed or revoked. You want to be acting on this now, not looking back in 5 years' time with all this opportunity in the rear view mirror, wishing you had a DeLorean to go back in time. The time is now to get clued up on what you can and can't do over the next few years. The truth is in property. The truth is in property, and I've been doing this for 30 years. They are always comes these few years where you can actually make plenty of hay. And it's normally followed by several more years where you can do moderately okay, but you can't repeat, you can't do what you can do in these golden years of opportunity. The last set of golden years was really 2009 to about 2013. Plenty of fun. Market conditions were just right, And this today is really like having that DeLorean and going back to market conditions of 2009. If you know what you're doing, you can have plenty of fun. Now, I want to share with you something. What's going to be critical to your success over the next few years is understanding all the rules and getting what you want out of the system, but staying within the line, basically. And for that, I want to share with you one of my mentors, if you like, one of my sources of inspiration. It's this young 7-year-old boy, and it's a picture posted by his mum on the website Mumsnet. Now, mum gave son 2 simple rules. Rule number 1, food stays in the kitchen, and you eat in the kitchen. Rule number 2, the iPad, the tablet stays in the lounge. You don't bring the iPad into the kitchen. So, 7-year-old boy thinks, okay, those are the rules. Those are the parameters within which I have to operate. What do I want? Well, I want to eat my food and play with my tablet? How can I stay within all the rules and get what I want out of the system? And that's exactly what this young lad has done. And that needs to be your approach to these rules. You need to learn them inside out. You need to know what you can do, what you can't do, how you can combine them, where you can probe ambiguity to generate opportunity. And you need to get on top of that game fast. And you need to implement those ideas quickly, because there are 3 or 4 years of opportunity, by which time, appeals can come and all these things can be revoked for people who do it for newly. But for existing people who have already taken advantage, you'll be home and dry. Now, as I said, converting commercial buildings into residential use is very much my bag. I did my first commercial to residential conversion back in 2005, when it was a right old pain under planning. And after 2009, I did plenty of commercial to residential conversions, such as offices to residential and retail to residential, like this one, for example. So to help you guys get a head start, I've organized a special live webinar training session. It's 90 minutes where I'm going to take you through all of this. I'm going to give you my predictions. I'm going to share with you what we know today about the rules. I'm going to share with you what some of the opportunities are going to be like. It's absolutely free as well. Just click on the link below, register and join me for 90 minutes of more revelations on how you can make the next few years the best years ever for you in property. See you guys in the next video. I am going to say something now which I've always wanted. You know what? Ever since I was, I never thought I'd say these words in my entire life, but I'm wanted back on the sets. Hey, doesn't that sound so cool? Yeah, I'm back to film this property elevator show. It'll be on Sky Telly in the autumn. To that, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell icon on this channel. You'll be notified when we release that. But make sure you join me on that free training as well. Commercial conversions, converting defunct commercial buildings to more profitable uses without having to go through planning permission. It's going to be the #1 strategy for the next few years. Okay, bye for now. I really have to go. Bye.